Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Now, this one's extremely, and I mean extremely popular, but some of y'all wanted my opinion on it anyway, so here you go. The premise of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is pretty much an office worker named Kobayashi is drunk out one day and she sees a giant dragon who has sword stuck in her. And she goes out and just picks the sword out like it was nothing and then starts drinking with the dragon. And then the dragon's looking for a place to be. She says, why not just be a maid? Be my maid. And she probably didn't remember what she said, but the next morning, the dragon turned to her human form named Toru. And there, she starts living with Mrs. Kobayashi. But that's just the beginning. As time goes on, other dragons and even magical creatures starts to show up in her life, showing that Mrs. Kobayashi is probably more than what she, even herself, doesn't realize what she is. And pretty much this is a slice of life of magical elements added to the mix, which makes things super, super entertaining. And I remember this first came out, it was just like everyone was crazy about it. Everyone liked it. I myself knew about it beforehand, not because I read the manga, but because also I've been following this creator's work for many years. Since their works on since Ojojojo. Yes, that's my most favorite of this creator's work is Ojojojo. And believe it or not, all of their works, not just Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, but also what's the other one called? Um I can't understand what my husband is saying. Y'all probably didn't watch that one, but yeah, this is all in the same universe. Because the thing that interests me about this world is it's not just about dragons, and they came from another world where magic and fantasy still exists, but there's also magic also already existing in that world. Some of the characters like Shotaka and his father are mages, but there's also spiritual elements as well. And there's also a timeline to these manga series. There's the Chi 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 Chi. There's one about the couple that's a spinoff from I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying anime as well, where it shows how they got together instead of how she was like this ancestors full of shamans and stuff. Yeah, the world itself is more fascinating in my opinion because how everything's all connected and you have to follow the timeline. And I believe Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is the current present day because you see some characters, believe it or not, if you haven't read the other series, that actually pop in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. The manga, anyways, not the anime. The anime, however, in my opinion, takes things to the most basic elements it can take. Like, there's actually a plot behind Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. There's actually arcs that happen within the series. My problem with the anime, despite how well animated, how well directed it is, and even paced, my only true flaw of it is that it doesn't show its true story. There's a story that goes on behind Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's not just everyday life things with dragons and humans, there's other things added to the mix. There's spirits, there's gods, there's mages from that world and their world as well that happen. There's a council and everything. You only know this if you read the books and also read the other stories that the author has created over the years. And see, there's even assassins. That's right, there's assassins. And my most favorite book, like I said, Ojo Jojo, there's the main couple is a girl who's inherited to a noble family and a dude who was adopted into a lower class family who's actually from a clan of assassins, believe it or not. So that was pretty interesting. And then there's one where a guy deals with ghosts and stuff like that. It all comes together. But anyways, there are arcs that happen. Like the thing that happened with Kana, which I believe they're making a movie on later on down the road, so I'm looking forward to that. Or there's the one where it's come up with the other girl, the one with the big, big chikungas, and not Luaka, but the high school one. Yeah, she also has an arc as well. Even the one that likes to eat a lot, the water dragon, the one that likes to protect people, and she works as an office lady, but she's always eating and stuff. And there's a dragon who's very powerful and creepy, but all he wants to do is game, game, game all day. And these characters have much more layers over time, you know. You see, the character development is what really makes the show. And that's why it doesn't really need the arcs or plot, it just needs the characters, because the characters themselves are very, very interesting. But no matter what happens, this anime is always under the eye of controversy because there are people, the normies, the tourists, who go around are always judging this anime, always picking on it. And then when you look inside their profiles or their Twitter space, you find out that they're into some weird, messed up stuff themselves, but they have the audacity to come over here and start judging stuff. Like, yo, what's wrong with you, man? It's messed up. But anyways, I digress. You can enjoy a series without reading the manga, but you'll get a better taste of the show if you read the manga. So yes, I do recommend you watch the anime, but I also recommend you also definitely read the manga if you want better context, if you want more of an expansion of the world itself. Because we don't know if we're ever going to get a season 3 if you want to continue the show, because Kyoto Animations is the type of studio that doesn't stick to one thing. They're all over the place. And there's a lot of anime that they have animated that I wish would get another season, but they won't do it for some reason. So yeah, there's that. So anyways, I think I'll wrap it up here. There's not much I can say. This is, like I said, it's a very highly well-known anime that a lot of people like to talk about, or whether it's for good or bad. It's just that bright in the spotlight, it shows its popularity. But without being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has the Madcrownxox. I'm Anime. Signing out.